That's what it is, right? Well, folks, okay. And now we also have the district, the appeals court, the federal appeals court for the west of the United States has expanded that for all the western states. So it's no longer local. If you read the LA Times today, we now have a new settlement called the Mitchell settlement. Have any of you read about this?
Been around?
Okay, I know you have. Okay, which basically says the city has been limiting the amount of belongings that people who are living on the street can accumulate. It has to be enough to fit into a 60-gallon bin, which is the size of the big, garbage cans, big plastic garbage cans. Now there was another settlement yesterday that says the city can't limit them.
Oh, great.
That they can basically have as much as they want. There's a couple of pieces of that, but that's going to be the new law now. Only on Skid Row.
Time to secede.
You're right. It's only on Skid Row for now. Okay, but you're right. Okay.
It's been around.
What do you think? What do you think? This might be. It might be coming to Venice. We don't know, but we're next. What do you think about it?
Oh, it's obviously a terrible idea.
Okay. Are we moving in the right direction here, or?
It's a scientific certainty that this will be extended to Venice, because just as Skid Row is a homeless hub for the eastern half of Los Angeles, Venice is being established as the homeless hub for the western half of Los Angeles. And the policy decision, the settlements, and the court rulings that apply there will soon apply here as well.
What Christian just said, and I live on 3rd and Rose, and so I see every Friday the cleanup that happens, and I can tell you there's a lot of debris that's left behind, and the pollution goes straight to our oceans. There's an environmental impact when there's a lot of stuff that is left on the sidewalk.
City's approach to this has been...
Mark, I'm going to give you 30 seconds here because you're the expert. Go ahead.
Let me just back up and say that the Jones settlement is dead. They built the housing and it evaporated, and even the mayor said last year that he was going to go back and start enforcing no lying, sitting, sleeping on a sidewalk 24 hours a day where he could offer a bed. And that was the same decision that was the Boise decision out of Idaho that basically said you've got to offer a real bed, not a bed, for example, that you have to have a particular religion, or a bed that closes at 9, isn't available because of the curfew. You've got to offer a real bed. And we've said all along, you need to pair up LAHSA counselors and other people that have beds with the cops to simply say, we have a shelter bed for you. Would you like to take it? And if you won't, you need to leave, or we're going to ticket you and then we're going to arrest you. You need to be a little more aggressive at forcing folks to take housing and to pair it up with the cops. Santa Monica does it all the time. Somehow the LAPD cannot get that to work.
So,
Thank you.
I'm not disputing that. What do you think about this new settlement? Do you think this is moving in the right direction?
No.
Well, I want to
No, Ivan, just as with the original Jones settlement, they should have taken that to the Supreme Court. And even Peter Ragosa admitted during his gubernatorial campaign that he thought that he dropped the ball and they should have taken it all the way to the Supreme Court.
Okay. All right. If anybody else would like a little extra time, you can have it. All right, come on. Guys, you want to hear who these people are, what they think. All right? We're all neighbors here. Remember?
Thing that's going on in Venice, people. Let them talk if they need to talk.
Let them talk. You're the ones that are going to be voting for them. You want to hear who they are and what they have to say. If you don't like what they're saying, don't vote for them. All right? I told them that. Okay? If you want to take a little bit more time, you can. I gave Mark extra time. It's up to you. And I'll go back if any of you want to do it. Go on.
I think we need to do our part as a wealthy community, but I don't think we need to do everybody's part. And I think the issue that I see that's problematic is that Venice right now has 2.5 times more supportive housing than any of the other communities in District 11. So District 11 makes up all of the communities by the beach down from Playa up to Palisades, or all the stuff in Bonnet's district. We already have 2.5 times the supportive housing of any of the other ones, and they're trying to increase that more and more.
Yep.
I think we need to continue to provide supportive housing for people in need, but we don't need to provide it for everybody.
Put it in the Palisades.
I said we have sparks.
As far as the amount of stuff that people should be able to accumulate on the sidewalks, I think that it should be more limited, not more expanded. It's a problem for me every Friday at the farmer's market. The police have to come every single week for the last year, and we still have not been able to deal with it. But on the bigger scale, I feel like the big problem is that the city's still talking about building $550,000 supportive housing units on Venice Boulevard and giving away a $100 million piece of land to build those places. And you know, if the firefighters can fight the fire up in Oxnard or in Malibu, and they can set up a camp for 250 people in one day, why does the city not do something with someplace like Westchester, where they have over 350 acres of city land?
I have to say, I'm a compassionate person, and I've dealt with David Bush and kind of fight for him with toilets and stuff like that. I just think a lot of this stuff is long-term land grabs, to be honest with you. And I think short-term solutions to help the people would be great. Get them help. That's about all I can say.
I'm Alex Lehman. I think that if any one of us was kicked onto the street because of mental health issues or because we lost our job and didn't have a nest egg, you would have 60 gallons worth of things as well. So homeless people are people as well. The solution isn't restricting their rights. It's getting them housing first and the services that they need to get them off the street permanently.
I think we have to think about the different types of people living on the street, the people that have mental illness or substance abuse, and then the people who kind of like that lifestyle. So I think there's a different group of people that have different needs, and I think we really need to help the people that have, mental illness and substance abuse that find difficulty finding housing and just surviving.